1942. The Nazis had sealed 400,000 people inside the Warsaw Ghetto. No one was supposed to get in. No one was supposed to get out. One woman walked in and out every single day, and every time she left, she smuggled a child with her. Over 2 years, she saved 2,500 lives. Her name was Irena Sendler, and almost no one has heard of her. Warsaw, 1940. The Nazis had built a wall, 10 feet high, topped with barbed wire, stretching for 11 miles through the city. Inside it, they forced nearly 500,000 Jewish people, entire families, entire neighborhoods, into an area the size of a few city blocks. The ghetto was designed to kill slowly. Food rations were set below starvation level. Disease spread through the overcrowded streets. In the first year alone, over 40,000 people died, not from bullets, but from hunger and illness. Irena Sendler was 30 years old. She worked as a social worker for the Warsaw Department of Social Welfare, one of the few positions that gave her official papers to enter the ghetto legally. She used those papers every day. She walked the streets where most people looked away. She saw children with swollen bellies sitting in doorways. She saw parents trading their last possessions for a cup of soup. She saw bodies being removed from sidewalks every morning. She did not look away. At first, she brought what she could carry: food, medicine, clothing. She organized a small group of colleagues to help. They worked carefully, quietly, knowing that being caught meant death, not just for themselves, but for anyone they were seen helping. But food and medicine were not enough. The ghetto was a death trap, and everyone inside it knew it. The only thing that could save the children was getting them out. In 1942, the deportations began. The Nazis started moving people from the ghetto to Treblinka, a death camp 100 kilometers away. In the summer of 1942 alone, they deported over 265,000 people. The parents who remained understood what was happening. Many had already lost family members. They knew what the trains meant. Irena joined Zagota, the underground Polish council, to aid Jews, and took the codename Jolanta. She was given a network of contacts: nurses, priests, tramway drivers, factory workers, ordinary people willing to risk execution to move children across the wall. The methods were precise and constantly changing. Infants were sedated and hidden inside toolboxes, potato sacks, and coffins. Older children were coached to walk calmly through checkpoints, carrying forged papers with Polish names and Catholic baptism records. Some were smuggled in ambulances, hidden under stretchers. Others crawled through the sewer system that ran beneath the wall, guided by Irena's contacts waiting on the other side. Every method had a failure rate. Every crossing was a gamble. The hardest part was not the logistics, it was the parents. Irena would sit across from a mother or father and explain what she was proposing. Hand your child to a stranger, give up the only person you have left, and accept that you may never see them again. Some parents said yes immediately. Others needed hours. Some refused entirely, unwilling to let go even knowing what was coming. Irena never pressured them. She could not promise survival. All she could offer was a chance, and the knowledge that if the child stayed, there was no chance at all. Each child she moved was recorded in a small notebook. The child's real name, the false name they were given, the address of the family or institution hiding them, The notebook was rewritten onto thin paper and sealed inside glass jars, which were buried in a garden on Lekarsa Street in Warsaw, waiting for a future that Irena was not certain would come. On October 20th, 1943, Gestapo came for her at dawn. They had been watching for weeks. Someone had talked. It was never confirmed who. 4 agents broke down the door of her apartment before sunrise. She had time to pass her notebook to a colleague hiding in the building before they took her. She was taken to Pawiak, the most feared prison in occupied Warsaw. In 2 years of operation under the Nazis, over 37,000 people passed through it. Most did not leave alive. The interrogations lasted for weeks. The Gestapo wanted names, the names of her contacts, the addresses of the children, the identities of the families hiding them. They broke both of her legs and both of her feet during the sessions. They used methods that left permanent damage. She gave them nothing, not a single name, not a single address, not one detail that could be traced back to anyone in her network. In January 1944, she was sentenced to death by firing squad. The execution was scheduled and confirmed. On the morning it was to take place, a Zigota operative bribed a German guard with a significant sum of money. The guard removed her name from the transport list and reported her as executed. She was dumped on the outskirts of Warsaw, badly injured, unable to walk. Her name appeared on the public list of executed Poles posted by the Nazis the following day. Everyone, including her network, believed she was dead. She was not. Within weeks, under a false identity, she was back in contact with Zigota. She continued working until the end of the war. When the war ended in 1945, Irena went back to the garden on Lekarsa Street. She dug up the jars herself. Inside were the names, real names, false names, addresses, the trail of every child she had moved. She handed the lists to the Jewish Survivors Committee in Warsaw, which began the work of tracing what had happened to each child and, where possible, reconnecting them with surviving family members. Most parents were already dead. The majority had been transported to Treblinka or Auschwitz during the deportations of 1942 and 1943. A small number had survived in hiding. Almost none had survived the camps. The children were different. Many had been adopted by Polish families. Some had been placed in convents and orphanages. A portion had emigrated to Palestine after the war, eventually becoming citizens of Israel. They had grown up under different names, in different countries, sometimes with no memory of Warsaw or of the parents who had let them go. Irena spent years trying to reconnect them with what remained of their families and their identities. She never spoke publicly about what she had done. For decades, the story was almost entirely unknown outside of small survivor communities. The communist government in Poland had no interest in honoring the wartime underground, and the West had largely moved on. In 1999, 4 students from a small high school in Kansas, Megan Stewart, Elizabeth Cambers, Sabrina Coons, and Janice Underwood, discovered a brief mention of Irena Sendler in a newsletter and began researching her story. They wrote a play called Life in a Jar. They performed it at their school. Word spread slowly, then faster. Irena was still alive. She was 89 years old, living in a nursing home in Warsaw. The students flew to Poland to meet her. She told them she was not a hero. that the real heroes were the parents who had the courage to hand over their children, not knowing if they would ever see them again. In 2007, she was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. She did not receive it. In 1965, Yad Vashem, Israel's official Holocaust memorial institution, recognized her as righteous among the nations, an honor given to non-Jews who risked their lives to save Jewish people during the Holocaust. It is one of the highest honors the State of Israel can bestow on a non-citizen. Irena Sendler died on May 12, 2008. She was 98 years old. The jars she buried in that garden saved 2,500 names from disappearing. Most of those children became parents and grandparents. Their descendants now number in the tens of thousands, spread across Europe, Israel, the United States, and beyond. She said once, "Every child saved with my help is the justification of my existence on this earth, and not a title to glory." She meant it.